What's up guys, welcome back to our channel. Today is the day before moving day, and so things are pretty crazy around the house, but we wanted to go ahead and show you guys what today kind of looks like for us. We were in the San Diego area yesterday working on a special project that's launching in about a month. So we are definitely behind with where we would like to be for leaving tomorrow. So as you can see here in the background, I just have a huge pile of stuff. This is all needing to get organized and packed. The girls. So this process is basically just going through, making sure all of our laundry is clean, packing the things that need to go. I have the master list that I can send you if you don't have, that has everything that we pack. So it actually really helps us too, because we can check off everything and make sure that we actually have it in the car with us. I posted some Instagram stories that have some like travel tips. I know I post a lot of like YouTube videos, but these were a little more in real time, showing you some things. One of those things is making sure you're not bringing bulky items. So I was showing food items like oatmeal, or protein pancakes, stuff like that that we've only eaten like half of. We just take out of the box. I'll show a little clip here of that exact process, but eliminating like the bulkier items and just putting stuff in baggies has really helped us. This year we're also bringing, well, we haven't confirmed, but I think we're bringing a much smaller TV. So last year we brought our big giant TV that we got for our wedding because we figured, you know, we had to have it because it's amazing. So we don't know if we will have a whole lot of space in the car because our bed is so much bigger, which I showed you guys the bed, but it's right here. So we're gonna see if everything fits and then decide if we want to bring the bigger TV or the smaller TV. Baggies save our life. So anything like this where there's a remote or multiple cords, we put in baggies so we know that everything is together. It doesn't get lost in the shuffle. So we're super stoked about something we got for Christmas, and it's called a tile. So if you're like us and you're constantly on the move, or you're like us and you constantly lose things, I highly recommend looking into these tiles, and we do have them on our Amazon page if you're interested in purchasing them. So these we just stick on like our keys. You can stick it in your purse, your wallet, your backpack, and then there's an app where you can track if you lose it. You can actually locate your keys or whatever. We're notorious for losing our keys every single day. So stuff like that's really gonna help, especially while we're traveling, because we won't lose things as much. So I'm just gonna continue packing here. I'll show you Nick. He's in the living room working away. Nicholas? Yeah. Oh, he's actually in the bathroom. So, moment of truth. We're gonna see if the bed fits in the car. Dun dun dun. Look how cool it is. You just roll this thing. It's a breeze. Oh. Yeah, that's a ton of space.
You kidding me?
Ton of space.
Babe, where are we right now?
We're at TJ Maxx right now because we forgot that we need bedding for our new air mattress to sleep on tomorrow night.
Sure, and what'd you find?
I found one with elephants. Do you like it?
I mean, who doesn't like elephants, but I don't know if I want to sleep on a bed of elephants every night, though.
So now we have to find, what's it called?
I don't know. What are you talking about?
What is this called?
Oh, a comforter.
Comforter.
Oh.
The problem we're having is that the king size are expensive. What does that say?
Fantasy.
Oh. 69. 59. This is so cute. 69. Okay, king. This is a king. $56. That one's still cheaper. This is a king and it's 40 on sale. So I think we still got a better deal.
Yeah.
Because this is a King for $99. Okay, let's go. All right, guys, we made it. It's officially moving day. We have everything that we're starting to kind of move out of the house now, and we're gonna pack the car. We got a lot done last night that I didn't film. I worked from 5 to 8 p.m. and then we were just kind of in a mad dash to start packing everything. So we have some stuff out here that's already done. I wanted to show you my overnight bag that I talked about in my PDF. One of the problems I've had packing is packing stuff and then having to unpack because I need it. So in my overnight bag, I put the outfit that I'm wearing today, my toothbrush, my makeup, a jacket, a hairbrush, and then like I said in the PDF, I always bring a roll of toilet paper in here. So when you get to your new place, you can just put that in the bathroom and you don't have to worry about finding your bathroom bag right away if you need to use the restroom after a long drive. And then I also have my wine opener and a bottle of wine. Boom. So this is the only suitcase I'm bringing with clothes, and this is how I pack my clothes. I go from shorts to workout pants to normal shorts to actual pants, and then I have a robe in here, and then tank tops, shirts, all the way to long sleeve, and a sweatshirt. I'm just bringing one sweatshirt this year and a few hats. That's something I definitely overpacked last year. So that's the only clothes I'm bringing, except for this is mine and Nick's hang up clothes. We're gonna go ahead and put trash bags over these.
Oh, that's why. There's this Johnny. Throw that in first.
This demonstration brought to you by
Come on.
the guy that usually doesn't do this.
You helped me on the last one.
All right, we're going to load the car. We're supposed to be leaving by 10 and it's 9:50, so time to get rocking and rolling. These are so much better than boxes. So much better.
Look at all this space. So as you can see, we fit all of our blue bags up here. Our big blue totes. We've got some of Korrin's camera stuff. We have our clothes that are all bagged up. The ones for hanging up, and we have 2 suitcases. So we're good to go.
Season 2, here we come! Woohoo! You're supposed to drive. Season 2, here we come! Woohoo! Here we go. Woo!
Here we go.
Arizona or bust. Woo! Woo!
All right, let's hit it, Ski Cat.
For reals this time.
Yeah.
Arizona! So compared to, say, your very first season in baseball and this season, what are some of the main differences between what you bring and how you feel about it?
I'm definitely smarter about what I bring. I make sure that I don't have too many options of stuff. You know, it's easy to bring a ton of things, then you get out to wherever you're going and you realize you only wear 5 shirts the whole season. Especially when you're going to the field and you're around just a bunch of buddies and teammates, like nobody cares how you look. And so I kind of realized that as long as I'm comfortable and I have just a couple options, I'm good to go. I don't need any more than that. You know, I pack way less baseball stuff on the way out there because I anticipate that I'm going to get a ton of gear when I'm out there. So I only bring a couple of essentials as backup gear until the spring training gets going, and then I can just ditch those. So in regards to how I feel about it, I'm definitely way less anxious going into the seasons now than I was when I first got drafted, because, you know, there's just an element of the unknown, and so you don't really know what to expect. you kind of have this stigma about the older guys that they're going to be unaccepting of the younger guys, and that you know, they have it all figured out and you don't know anything. And there's some truth to that in the sense that you got a lot to learn, but that's the biggest difference that I realized between the older guys that have been in the program for a long time in the system, and as opposed to the guys that just got drafted, is that it's more of just an attitude and a belief that they belong, and that they know that they've put in the work. They know that they are as talented as anybody else there, and for the most part, the young guys are just as talented as the older guys. The older guys just have put the work in, they have experience, and they know that they belong. So I would say that's the biggest thing, is, you know, just understanding that I'm that old guy now. Not old, but, you know, this is my 4th spring training, and there's plenty of guys that are coming in for only their 1st and 2nd. And so, yeah, there's no more nerves in regards to all that.
What would you say to the guys that are just coming in for their 1st or 2nd spring training, or like what would you say to yourself if you could go back and tell yourself something your 1st year?
I would just tell them that you are here for a reason, and you know, that's very cliche and you hear it all the time, especially from coaches and stuff, like you're here for a reason. And like I said, it may be cliche, but you're just as talented as any of the other guys out there, usually. And it's just a matter of how you approach the game mentally that's going to set you up for success or set you up for failure. That and going along with the preparation that you put in, right? So the game is something that is kind of, it just happens, but we can't constantly get game reps. That's why we practice so much. So if you can prepare yourself before the game starts, then the games take care of themselves. And so, you know, the biggest 2 things for me is make sure that you're prepared and then get your mind right, you know. So
what are some ways that you've learned to help you do that? Because I know from what I've seen for the last 4 years, it is such a mental game. So like, what could you tell somebody that would help, that can help with that mental grind?
There's plenty of books that will give you tools to help with that. And then I think it's just a matter of being aware and being open to what's going on around you. You know, you can't just be living in a box. You know, throughout the season, you have to pay attention to what your teammates are going through, how you're feeling, how you're handling certain trials, and that's like ultimately being aware of what's going on around you and inside of you. Therefore, you know how to make adjustments from that. If you don't pay enough attention to that, and you just, it's easy to spiral, or you know, not to be able to nip things in the bud. And so, for me, it's more about being aware. Okay, I'm feeling this way, I'm struggling, how can I change that? And, you know, just experiencing the ups and downs.
What is your favorite part about spring training?
My favorite part about spring training is getting to see all my buddies and, you know, grind with them, making the memories that you missed during the off season. You know, during the off season, all you can think about is getting back on the field, and during the season all you can think about is resting your body and giving yourself a break. But the things that, you know, during spring training, when you're like, man, I just want to get this over with and play the games, when you're out on the field at 7:30 or 8 in the morning and it's freezing outside and you're already working your tail off and stuff, what's funny is those are the memories that you miss in the off season. Those are the memories that I think of when that make me excited for spring training. Like, I can't wait to be on the field early, getting working with all basically my brothers and my best friends, and these guys that I've made incredible relationships with since I've been drafted. That's definitely my favorite thing.
If you could say something to someone that's just a fan about spring training and they don't know much about spring training, like, what's the one thing you want them to know about this process? We
put in a ton of work in spring training, more so daily than we do during the season. You know, during the season we show up at the park at 12:30 to start getting work in, and, you know, we do, but it's a little more lackadaisical in the sense that the game is the most important part of the day. In spring training, you're at the facility at 5 in the morning sometimes, and you're doing stuff at 6:30, and you don't get out of there for, you know, until 6 at night, depending on, you know, the schedule and organization and things like that. But you're putting in a ton of work all day, and then once you feel like you've worked your tail off throughout the day, then you got to go play a game, and then sometimes you have to do cool downs or workouts and stuff like that after. So, you know, just understand that there is a ton of work that goes into those spring training games, especially when you're out in the heat and everything. Like those are grindy days, but like I said before too, those are the memories that you really cherish and miss when you're not away from the game.
And I'm sure it's kind of stressful for guys because a lot of them are fighting for a job, and you know, there's some of them that don't really know if they're coming out with a job.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, you know, you'd kind of asked me earlier about nerves and stuff going into spring training. I think that's where a lot of it comes from, is guys just, they go into spring training unsure of, you know, their job security basically, and that's just the way it goes in our line of work. But, you know, understanding that if you put the work in, it's kind of out of your control. And unfortunately, there's always going to be moves that guys don't agree with. That's just the way it works. But the organizational management stuff, they're trying to do what they feel is best for the team. And so, yeah, it's tough, but it happens. Guys go in without a lot of job security, or they don't know where they stand, and so they end up going in and pressing and with anxiety and nerves and stuff like that. It makes it hard to perform.
What is the hardest part about spring training?
The hardest part about spring training is just staying focused on the little things, the tasks at hand, because, you know, as you get to spring training and you start working, it only takes a week or so before your body is tired, you're pretty exhausted, you're doing like 12-hour days sometimes. And so, you know, it's easy for your mind to get ahead of you and think, oh man, we got a lot more months of this, and you start to overlook what you're doing at the time, and you know, you're not putting enough importance on the drills that you're doing or whatever it is that you're doing from the day to day, and whether it's rotations, hitting, fielding, regardless of what it is, you know, is actually having the intent and the focus for every rep, for every drill, everything that you do, instead of getting ahead of yourself and losing sight of what it is that you need to take care of at the time. So it's having a sharpened focus, and almost like having tunnel vision to some extent.
Love you.
Love you too.